Hi, Go. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about my experience taking the Check Point Certified Security Administrator exam, the CCSA. And the reason I wanted to share this experience, for one, I wanted to give some insight and my experience to anyone out there who's planning on taking this exam. And two, because there are no videos here on YouTube of people sharing their experiences taking this exam. Like, there's literally zero. I couldn't find any, but if you do, please put it in the comments and so I can go ahead and watch it. But that's the second reason why I'm making this video, because I couldn't find any, and so I figured maybe there may be someone else that's planning on taking this exam that can benefit from this video. Okay, so first, before we get into it, let's discuss what the CCSA, or Check Point Certified Security Administrator, is and who it is for. So the Check Point Certified Security Administrator is an intermediate level certification for IT and security professionals who need to administer checkpoint security environments. It is designed for network security engineers and others with basic networking and OS skills who work with checkpoint gateways and management software. The certification validates skills in deploying and managing security policies, monitoring traffic, and configuring features like NAT, VPN, and intrusion prevention. So it isn't quite an entry-level certification, as it does require you to have some knowledge in networking or some IT experience. So let's dive into some of the exam details. The exam has 100 questions and it's 90 minutes. So you have less than a minute to answer each question. You need a passing score of at least 70 to pass. And the exam is and the exam costs 250 USD. And it's typically administered to Pearson VUE, and you can do it online or at a testing center. I did mine in the testing center. Funny story about that. I'll give you that at the end part of the video. It caused me to almost miss the exam, but we'll dive into that at the end. So the purpose of taking the exam. Basically, you want to evaluate the skills of managing the checkpoint and basically managing your networks using the Check Point suite of products. And the other purpose why I took it was because it was free. It came with the three-day training course that I did, and I had a free voucher to take the exam. So I basically took the exam just to validate what I learned over those 3 days and a couple of months of studying it off and on here and there. So some of the study materials that I used personally to study for the exam was, like I said, the 3-day training course that was provided by my employer. I think that is an expensive 3-day course. If I had to pay, I think it's close to about $3,000 USD. But because we are a vendor with Check Point, or Check Point is a vendor, I don't know what to call it, but basically we have Check Point equipment, and we purchase their software and equipment and stuff like that. So we have this thing called IGUs. IGS. Basically, it's credits that we can use to purchase more equipment or purchase training and so forth. So that's what I used, and I didn't have to pay anything. So during that training, we got access to the book for the CCSA. Basically, during that training, the instructor went through the whole 13 chapters, I think it is, in the book, and each chapter has a lab. So that was like one beneficial part of doing the course. You have access to the book, and you also have access to the labs for 6 months after the training has completed. So I took advantage of that 6 months, and I was basically just doing a lot of labs. Plus, I'm working with Check Point every day. I was working in my full-time job. I am doing Check Point every day. I'm in the smart console every day. So I live and breathe Check Point every day. But yeah, so the Check Point CCSA book and just doing the labs. Also, I did on CBT Nuggets. They have a free, not free, but it's you could pay for CBT Nuggets, or you can do the 7-day free trial. So I did their 7-day free trial, and I finished it in about 4 days because I didn't want to pay for it. So I did that course on CBT Nuggets. But if you want to go ahead and pay for it, you can go ahead and do that. But I just didn't feel like paying. You can use that course instead of actually paying for that instructor-led course if you feel like it, because that instructor-led course, I know not everyone's going to be able to afford it or have the luxury of having their employer pay for it. So That's another option that you can use right there. But I did the 7-day free trial. I finished it in about 4 days. That was pretty good. I can't remember the instructor's name, but he delivered the material quite well. And so I did that. I purchased another course too on Udemy, but I didn't like the quality of the video, so I just didn't finish it. I did too much of it, so I couldn't return it, but that's not for here or there. But I did get some practice questions on Udemy, and I did those, like just repetitively going over the questions. Um, when I first took the practice questions, I think I got like a 60. This was before I actually did any of the studying. I purchased the practice questions ahead of time and just wanted to see what I know from basically doing the work every day before I took the course and everything. So that 60 made me feel quite 60 made me feel good that I feel like I would be able to pass it later down. So I did that, and then I progressed and started getting 90, 80, 90, and then I felt more confident that I was ready to take the exam. So yeah, I did the Udemy practice questions, and then I did a lot of hands-on experience because I work with it every day. But if you don't work with it every day, just do the labs in the book, and that's basically giving you the same experience as if you were working it out. There will be some things that will come up in the real world that you won't, but that's not going to be an exam, so you don't really need to worry about that. So my experience with the exam was it started off rocky because I took it at the Pearson View Testing Center. The testing center is about 1 hour away from where I live. So I drove there. The test was supposed to start at 10 a.m. I left there. I arrived there 30 minutes early just so I'm comfortable and ready to take the exam. So, but no one was at the office yet. I waited. I said I'll wait until 10 minutes, maybe, they'll come in. It was 9:50, no one was still there. 9:55, no one was there. So I was like, all right, time for me to call Pearson View to make sure that they know that I wasn't the one that didn't show up, and the employees just wasn't there for that center, the employee or whatever. So I did all of that, opened the ticket, on my way, started to drive back. I got a call from the testing center saying they were available now if I wanted to come back. I'm like, bro, I was already 30 minutes out. So anyway, I still turned back around. I was like, this may be a sign not to take the exam, but I felt confident enough that I would pass it. So I still went back and took the exam. So I took the exam. It was a fairly smooth process checking into the testing center. There was only me there and the lady that was administering the exam, I guess. Um, yeah, so we did that. The test wasn't as difficult as I thought. Honestly, it was a bit easy for me, maybe because I work with it, but it was easy enough. But I didn't get 100. As you can see, I got an 88. But I finished it quite quickly in like 30 minutes, and you had 90 minutes to finish it, so I had about an hour to spare. But I felt confident that it was okay. So some of the topics that are covered on the exam, and this is you can find the topics or the exam objectives from the Check Point site. This is basically where you can go ahead and get it here. So all of this is basically what was covered in the exam. You had to know what the security management server is, what is the smart console, what are some of the tabs in smart console, and how do you use them, and what to do, and like those kind of things. I don't want to give too much, but you can find these exam objectives online, and you should be good to go. So yeah, basically you got to know how to deploy and manage the security gateways, um, how to create a policy, how to create a rule, sorry, and the policy, network traffic, how to review your logs, understand your logs, and all of that good stuff. So recommended preparation. I would say if you can, if your employer provides it, take the authorized training course from Check Point. If you go on Check Point's website, you can see training center. And when you go to pay for the exam, you would get you would see all of the providers who give you that training. The providers that give you the training. Sorry, but if you can't do it, just use the CBT nuggets, get some practice exams, And yeah, just do that, dude, and find a book if you can. But if you can't find it, it should be okay. Yeah, and then gain some hands-on experience. But if you can't, again, just do the labs. The labs. I can't stress that enough. Just doing the labs is going to help you tremendously. So do the labs, and again, get some practice questions. And so the next steps for me, because there's so much overlap with the CCSA and the CCSE. The CCSE being the Checkpoint Certified Security Expert. I'm planning to take the CCSE in the coming weeks. So I did the 3 day instructor-led course already. Um, I have access to the Checkpoint Security Expert book. It's about 7 chapters long, and then each chapter has labs, so that's pretty good. So that's the next steps for me. I'm planning to take the CCSE maybe in the next 2 weeks. I think it's going to be. And the CCSE, from what the instructor told me, was he felt as though the CCSA was a bit more challenging than the CCSE. Me personally, I didn't find the CCSA that challenging, so maybe it will be easier. Who knows? Or maybe it's just going to be a bit different for me. But because the CCSA didn't really cover much of the snapshots and upgrading and high availability and threat prevention, HTTPS inspection and stuff like that, and all of those things are covered in the CCSE. So I feel like that's going to be a bit more challenging. I feel like, but I've been studying for it. I've been using it in work, like understanding it. So I feel like I'll be pretty comfortable and ready to take that. And yeah, that's basically it. My recommendations is just to make sure you study and do the labs. You should be fine. It's not a, and it's like a, I wouldn't say it's a crazy difficult exam, but if you put in the work, you'll be able to fly through that exam and pass it just like I did. So hopefully you found some value in this video, and if you're going to take the exam, let me know, put it in the comments, and I do ask that you just like the video and share it with someone else that's working on Checkpoint, and maybe one day I should create a whole series on Checkpoint because I can't find much of it, but we'll see. Anyway, see ya.